Hey everyone, Stephanie Lucrezio coming to you live. I'll just give it a couple of moments for people to pop on. I hope everybody is doing well. It's been a crazy couple of days here in the Northeast, and I know all around the world as we're moving closer to the holidays, there are a lot of tightening of restrictions happening across the country, and I know a lot of people are struggling mentally, physically. Hello. Just struggling to get through these times. And I just wanted to come to you all with an update and give you some information. I know I posted yesterday about my Sephora ordeal. It's definitely a stressful time. And, for people who are not willing to comply with nonsensical rules that don't make any sense, it's even harder for people who are blinded by the media mob and the fear mongering and all of the things that are taking place. I guess it's easier to think somehow that by doing these things that things will somehow get better. I definitely do not see things that way. I see things for how they are. And it's been very, very stressful. So I want to share with you my Sephora experience yesterday. I was so upset yesterday. I actually wanted to come live yesterday, but I was really emotional for some reason. For people that follow me, you know that it's been probably 6 months since I've worn the mask. I started out wearing the mask, trying to comply with the orders. Hey, everybody, trying to be, compliant and just go with the flow. I had my first panic attack in Home Depot 6 months ago, shopping for home improvement projects. I was in there for maybe 7 minutes when I'd never had a panic attack in my life, by the way, never have had a panic attack, and I will be 42 in December. And I felt like this sweaty, dizzy, nauseous feeling, palpitations, the whole shebang, and started to get really lightheaded. So I was like, I have to get out of here. And my husband was shopping in the aisles and he knew I had a very long list, and I went over and I was like, I'm done. And from that moment on, instinctually, I knew that I was hurting myself, that it was not doing good things for me because, like I said, I've never had that happen before. So I made the decision at that point to be the unicorn, to not wear it. And so far, I have to say, I've done lives from stores. I really haven't had many issues. So yesterday, I had issues with my phone, which, by the way, if people are trying to reach me and I'm not getting back to you, it's not that I'm ignoring you. My phone, for some reason, decided yesterday was the day that it was not going to work anymore. So we're currently in the repair situation. So I dropped my phone off to the kiosk, and I'm told it's 20 minutes. So I needed stuff from Sephora. And for people that were talking about non-toxic makeup, believe me, you're preaching to the choir. I've been a Bare Minerals girl for probably, 10 years. I used to work for the company. I love it, but I'm definitely open to new and exciting things. There was a lot of links posted, so I'm definitely looking into all of it. If you have any of those green, natural, vegan makeups, definitely post them in there, and I'm definitely willing to try. That being said, I walked in, and of course I didn't have the mask on. I was immediately approached by somebody who said, "Hey, love, how are you? What can I help you with?" And I said, "Oh, I'm looking for Bare Minerals." And she said, "Okay, but you need to have a mask on." And I said, "No, I actually don't need to have a mask on. I have a medical condition, and I'm not able to wear it. I actually have a letter from a doctor," which of course I couldn't present because it's on my phone, which is broken. So it's a little stressful. So she's like, "Well, we can't let you shop in the store." I said, "Well, then I would like to speak to a manager." For those of you that don't know, I'm an esthetician in my previous life, so I did a lot of work inside of Sephora and Ulta, so I know a lot of the people to this day. So she calls the manager. I head over to the gondola, I'm, very quickly shopping because I know that, it's going to get tense really quick. The manager comes out, and I know her. She's taken my yoga class. I know her from teaching her from years ago, so I'm immediately uncomfortable because I'm like, oh, this is awkward. So she's like, "Oh my God, it's you." I'm like, "Oh, it's you." And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "You got to put the mask on." And I said, "Well, I can't put the mask on because I have a medical condition." And I said, "And I don't wear it." "Well, then you can't shop in the store." So my basket's pretty much full. I was like, "Well, I'm done." I was like, "So we can just go to the cash wrap." She's like, "Yeah, but I don't need you to wear the mask to the cash wrap." So I put it on as I'm walking to the cash wrap because I always have it in my pocket just in case I should need it, which I've never had to use it. And literally got to the cash wrap, had it on my face, and had a panic attack at the counter. Burst into tears at the counter. And I said, "I'm sorry, I can't stay here. I have to go outside." I said, "Can you take my credit card and just bring me the stuff when you're done?" And I'm standing outside the store, muzzle free, having a full-blown anxiety attack, in tears, dropping CBD drops under my tongue, trying to calm myself down, breathing in essential oils, doing all the things that I know to do, doing my meditative breathing. And It was really, really unsettling for me. Like, I literally, the rest of my day, I just felt so um, violated. I can't explain even the word. It just felt so awful to think that I'm not allowed to do something because of a medical condition, a personal belief, an anxiety, whatever it is. I was not allowed to do something. So I want to say to people that, number one, we have to support only the businesses that support the freedom to breathe in the fresh air. If someone like Costco is having an issue, I actually sent a message to Sephora corporate. I got a response today saying that even with the medical condition, they don't want us in the store for our safety and everyone else's safety. So that if I have issues, I could either have someone shop for me or I could shop online, which neither of those answers are acceptable to me. So Sephora, big X through it, will not be going back to that store. I had a conversation with Ulta, which is why I haven't gone there, because I got the same response from them. So two of the cosmetics places that I used to go to, no longer. And it's a principle thing for me, because we live in an inclusive society, and I've said it over and over again. There is no one size fits all for any single body. There is no vaccine that's a one size fits all. There is no mask that's a one size fits all. Every single person has a different reaction. Someone can take penicillin and have a life-threatening reaction. Someone can eat the same food and have a life-threatening reaction. So for those of you that are feeling this way, that feel like you don't even know where you belong in society, I want you to know first and foremost that you have a place, because you're not alone. There are so many of us that are going through the same exact thing. And, you know, to be honest with you, these last couple of weeks, like with the election and all the stuff that's going on, knowing that these closures are coming, because we've known for a while that the second wave was going to close us down, it's been really hard to keep a positive attitude, even for me. Like, I've struggled. So struggling, we're thinking about how much time we've spent fighting. I've been fighting mandates and, you know, bills and all these different things for probably a year and a half now. And fighting is not a sustainable plan. There is nothing sustainable about fighting. It's something that we need to do. We need to continue to stay involved, doing the call to action, doing the work to make sure that our freedoms are preserved. But at the end of the day, it really does dim your light. It really does feel heavy after a while, and you have to get into the mode of creation. I'm a very creative person. I do my yoga, I write, I do blogs, I do all this stuff. And when you're in that fight or flight mode, all those parts of your brain kind of disconnect, and you can't do anything else but be in that fight or flight mode. So I had a conversation with one of my girlfriends a couple of weeks ago, who I work with very closely. And she said, you know, we need to change our strategy. We need to stop fighting 70% of the time and start creating. So creating the world that we want to live in with one hand, and then fighting against the things that we don't want to have happen with the other. Because when you have that equal balance of creation, co-creation, especially with like-minded, like-hearted people, that really does help to boost your spirits, to build your hope, to build your confidence, to build that community, and to start to create this soul sovereignty, the sovereign solutions that we have for ourselves. Because the truth is, I get emails every single day and messages every single day from people who don't know what they're going to do. They work for a school, they work for a hospital, they work for a company that's either mandating them to wear a mask, making them take COVID tests regularly, you know, threatening the vaccine when it comes out. So it's like, in order to get that paycheck, you literally have to sell your soul and give up your beliefs in order to be able to provide for your family. And that is a sacrifice that many people are not willing to make, myself included. I will not do it. So instead of complaining and focusing on the problem, we're now focusing on building the solutions. So we have these calls every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. and it's for our freedom family. So we decided that instead of getting caught up in the problem, we need to bring solutions to people, to connect people, to give people hope. And that's what we're up to. We're up to really starting to move away from fighting all the time and starting to create the world that we want our kids to live in. Because at the end of the day, everything that we do is for our children. When I think about the world and the way that it's going, and I think about my son growing up in this world, it literally keeps me up at night and keeps me just in the game of making sure that I'm doing everything in my power to protect him. And I know for moms, we get this gut instinct in our bodies when we know that our children are in danger in some way, shape, or form. It's like you can feel it in your bones, and my bones are activated. I know that the world that we're living in is not the world that I want my son to grow up in. And I know that my beliefs, my ideals do not fit with the mainstream narrative. So the goal here is to create a community of like-minded, like-hearted people. If you're like me and you want choice, you want to be able to choose what goes in your body or not goes in your body, you want that bodily autonomy, you want to be part of a community that's doing the same work that you're doing, that's not only fighting against the things that we don't want, but also building the solutions for the things that we do want, starting to create a network of like-minded people that we can go to. Because think about it, like you go to somebody and you respect them, you love them, you have this great relationship. And then as you start talking about what's happening, because everybody's talking about this, everybody's talking about what's happening in the world. And it's really hard to continue a professional relationship with people who don't have the same beliefs as you, who force you to do things that you're not comfortable with. So within this network, we're going to have all different types of people, all different types of professionals that bring all different things. I mean, just this week, we have doulas, we have yoga instructors, we have, moms that are activists at home that have been working full-time unpaid jobs that don't have a sustainable solution for them and their family in the face of what's happening. Because if you think about the financial pieces of your life, without a solid financial backing, it's really hard to make some of the decisions that we might have to make. I mean, the truth is the Northeast, some of these democratically run states may not be a place that we can really hang our hats for the long haul. But so many of us are stuck here because of spouses that have jobs and roots here. If you don't have that situation, it's so easy to just pick up and go somewhere else and be able to take whatever business you're working with you, even brick and mortar businesses today. I mean, think about these poor restaurants that have to close at 10 o'clock. I went to a restaurant the other night at 10:03. I'm not even joking you. The lights were blaring. It was like the end of prom when the lights go on. It's like, okay, bye now, you gotta go. These poor restaurants, like they could be seating more people, having more people come into their place, but instead they're closing. We're looking at tightening restrictions with everything. We're looking at potential shutdowns and what's happening in Washington. They're moving back into a lockdown mode. There are states that are already doing this. And what we've learned over the last 6 months is it's monkey see, monkey do politics. So one Democratic governor does one thing, and before you know it, all the Democratic governors are following. So we need to get out in front of this, and we need to start to build our own communities, our own solutions. I always think of the religious Jewish communities, and I have such a high respect for the things that they do, because if you look at their community, they stay within their community. They buy their products and their services from people inside of that community. The Amish do the same thing. And they really do have the right idea, because you want to vote with your wallet. You want to give your hard-earned money to people who share your values, who respect your opinion, who understand where you come from, and that you can be authentic with. So that's what we're up to creating. And, for people out there, I get so many messages, and I totally understand how tough this time has been, how stressful it is. The things that we once loved doing have become complete nightmares. Everything and anything you could possibly imagine. A lot of us don't even leave our homes. So homes that we once loved have become like prison cells that we just sit in all day because we don't want to be outside, out there with what's going on out in the world, in a place where people are so awful. I was in Albany about a week and a half ago, last Saturday, and I had the opportunity to speak in front of a Trump rally. I was interviewed for a news station, and across the street there was like a small Biden celebratory, because it was the day that Biden was announced president, which I think is a little bit premature in my opinion, since my vote still hasn't been counted, and I live in New Jersey, and I voted 2 weeks ago. Still hasn't been counted. So we went across the street, and I just really wanted to have an open dialogue with these people. I wasn't looking to talk politics. We went over, and I said, hey, how are you? I said, we're here because we're battling for medical freedom. Are you aware that Governor Cuomo was trying to mandate the COVID vaccine for all New Yorkers? And the guy, there was like a group of maybe 30 people, college-aged-ish. He's like, oh, shoot me up, shoot me up. And they all had masks on, of course, because this has become apparently like a political thing. Because I don't wear a mask, I'm automatically for Trump, or that it's a political statement, which it's not in my case. But the woman starts fanning me. She's fanning me with the Biden sign. You have to get out of here. You're a spreader. You can't be here. You have to go away. If you're not going to be here with the mask on, get out. And they're cursing at me and like invading my personal space. And it was really hard to like keep that energy out, because the fact that we are all humans first. We are all humans first. And if you're listening and you are a Biden supporter, I respect you. I don't have any issues with you. I don't agree with your choice. I chose a different situation. And I expect that same respect and kindness in return. Because at the end of the day, we are all connected in the fact that we are human beings first and foremost. We all want happiness. We all want health. We all want family. We all want connection. We all want prosperity and abundance. These are all things that we want. It doesn't matter what side of the political game you're on. It matters how you show up and how you connect with other people. If you're open to hearing, if you're open to asking some of the questions, the hard questions that don't always coincide with your political beliefs, but you have to look outside of that and really begin to have the hard conversations. And for a lot of people, they just don't want to hear. So my advice to the people that are on right now, just to keep your head sane, is to, number one, stop wasting your energy on people who are not open to listening. Stop shopping in places that are not welcoming to people who want to breathe fresh air. Make a list. Check out your neighborhoods. Give calls in advance if you want to know what's going on. I used to call the managers of the stores before I went in until I got my rhythm and my groove, and I know what stores I can go to and what stores I can't go to. I will say in the last week, I feel a shift in the climate. I think because the perceived winner of the election is Biden, and he's very pro-mask, talking about mandating it federally, which I don't understand constitutionally how he could do such a thing, but hopefully we won't get to the point where we have to find that out. I think people are starting to really have a comfort level, like a more of an angry approach to this, especially because the numbers are rising. And can I just talk to the COVID numbers rising right now? I have a question. When in the world have we ever in the world gone to go pick up dry cleaning, go to the supermarket, go to the post office, and then go get a COVID test because we just feel like it? We have no symptoms. We're not sick. We're standing online in an urgent care with people who could potentially be sick to get a COVID test. And there are people that I know that have taken COVID tests. One person has taken 4 different COVID tests in the same day, at the same time, shoved those things up his nostrils back and forth. 2 of them have come back negative. 2 of them have come back positive. So we're basing shutting down an economy, shutting down a society, putting people into isolation and into situations that are emotionally damaging for a test that is far from perfected. And we've gone from flattening the curve because we need PPE. We need to make sure our hospitals aren't inundated. We need to make sure that we have contact tracers. We need testing. Now we need to make sure that we have 0 cases or a vaccine before we can get our lives back. I mean, if people aren't seeing the rhetoric, if they're not understanding what's happening, you're watching too much of the media mob. And I suggest that you shut it off and start to really look somewhere else, explore different places to look. I've lost all respect for Fox News. I don't watch it anymore. One American Network and the whatchamacallit, Newsmax are the places that I go. And I think people need to also recognize the fact that this is a virus. They're calling it a disease. It's a virus. And I'm not saying it's not real. It is real. But it has an average of a 99% survival rate for most populations. The population that is most at risk is 70 and over, and they have a 94.5% survival rate, or 95.4%. I always invert the numbers, but it's one of those 2. And I think that we need to keep in check that our bodies are full of viruses and bacteria. It's what we're made up of. So you can't avoid this. We can't live in a bubble for the rest of our lives. We can't keep damaging our children, keeping them out of school, keeping them out of social situations. I've seen so many stories on Facebook recently of children, teenagers trying to commit suicide, committing suicide. It is a really, really awful time. So, be kind to people. I've stopped. I'm at the point now where I try my best not to judge or criticize people that I don't agree with. And it's very, very difficult sometimes because I know so many people are just doing this because they think somehow by complying that it's going to go away, or they're trying to avoid discomfort. And what I can tell you that I know for sure, yes, babe.
Can I have some Post-its?
Yeah. What I can tell you I know for sure, here you go, sorry, is that the discomfort, there is growth in the discomfort. Every time I go into a store, I grow somehow. I think that we're so used to instant gratification. We're so used to being comfortable, to, you know, all the things that we had before. And in the face of this quote unquote new normal, which I'm not on board with, a lot of people are really having trouble standing out in the crowd because everybody was the same. So it is a time in history where you have to be willing to be brave. You have to willing to be bold, to stand up, to show up, to do the things that are hard, because that's the only way we're going to get through this period in history and come out the other end with our rights intact. It's not easy, but nothing that's worth it ever is. So I just want people to be reminded that there is a solution, there is hope, there is community. If you're feeling lonely and isolated, I highly encourage you to come on this 10 p.m. call that we have tomorrow night. I'll drop the link into the comments when I'm done. It's been great. It's definitely something that connects people. It helps you to understand the solutions that are out there for you, both physically, financially, and from a standpoint of being able to connect with people that are like you. And I think that connection is so important. The other thing I want to say to people is we need our people healthy. The amount of stress that has been placed on our communities in this last 6 months to a year is unthinkable. I have never had anxiety in my life. And I can tell you for a fact that I battle every single day to keep myself calm, to breathe, to meditate, to stay focused on what it is I want to have happen instead of looking at everything that's happening around me that makes me feel sick to my stomach. It's a choice. I don't always do well at it. There are days that, I mean, yesterday after the Sephora thing, I literally sat at my parents' dining room table and sobbed because I just feel like I don't have a place in this new society. It's just really isolating. But I know when I plug into my freedom family and to the people that understand me and that I can be completely authentic with, that I have a place and I have people and I'm not alone. Oh my God, Christina, I'm so sorry. Please come on to the call tomorrow. You know, definitely try to come on. I'm looking at the comments as I'm talking to you, the poor kids for sure. Numbers are not real. There is an agenda. Yes, it's 99% survivable. There's so many great comments here, and it's so true. We are being treated as guinea pigs. I'm not new to this, but I'm willing to learn. Where do we start fighting these mask mandates and vaccine mandates? Okay, so Jamie's asking, where do we start fighting the mask mandates and the vaccine mandates? We need to continue whatever state that you're in. You need to continue to contact your legislators. You need to continue to call. You need to research the bills that are happening in your individual states that are either mandating masks or mandating vaccines. I know in New York, there's already a bill that's on the table. The New York State Bar Association accepted the recommendation. So Cuomo has everything set up, ready to go, even though he's talking crap about the vaccine. He's got everything ready to go. And he was interviewed yesterday and saying that he's going to send out an army of people to vaccinate all New Yorkers. So the stuff that they're talking about is super scary. And, you know, it's not a pro-vax or an anti-vax issue. It's a human rights issue. It's a human rights issue to be able to decide what enters or does not enter your bloodstream. If we lose the ability to listen, to make that decision, I mean, I don't know what else they could take away. The lawsuit for New Jersey is still pending. We haven't heard anything at this point. We are waiting, and hopefully we'll get something. Everything is backlogged because of the COVID. So, it's been a challenge. I think that, you know, we have to continue to have the conversations with our legislators and continue to have the conversations with parents. And it's not always comfortable, and people aren't always going to agree with you. So you have to be okay with being committed to the cause, but not attached to an outcome. Educate people. Like yesterday, I didn't scream at the woman who told me I couldn't wear a mask. I educated and I escalated. That's what I definitely recommend. Educate them. Escalate, because most people don't understand the difference between an executive order and a law. They think the executive order is law and it's not. An executive order is something that is put out there by a governor. A law goes through a legislative process. It goes through two bodies of government where there's Democrats and Republicans that have a vote, have a say. That does not happen with an executive order. It's basically like King Murphy and King Cuomo deciding how they want to rule the land. And we've been under this tyrannical law for the last almost 9 months now. 2 weeks to flatten the curve has turned into pretty much the entire year. And now we're at the point where they're telling us how many people we can have in our homes, how many people we can have, it's insane. I pay my bills. I pay my mortgage every month. And you're going to tell me I can't have more than 10 people in my house for a holiday when, first of all, how are they going to even know who's in the house? Is Murphy going to be like pressing his head against the glass in my house, looking at how many people are here? So yeah, continue to educate. Yeah, Martha, I'm so sorry. I saw your comment the other day, and I don't know what your situation is. I don't know what you're dealing with. I think a lot of things when it comes to choices really relates to jobs, relates to businesses. It relates to things that really keep you stuck in the place that you're in. I think that family is also something that is a huge, and I'm very lucky that I have a supportive family. They will go wherever I need to go to protect my son and my nephew and everybody in my family. So that is one thing I can cross off my list, and I thank God for that every single day. But there is other things. I mean, people's jobs, my husband has 20 years in his job. He's a union worker. He has his pension. He has his annuity. So there's things to think about with that as well. So I get it. But at the end of the day, when I think about living, this is not living. Fighting every day is not a sustainable plan. Working a full-time unpaid job to advocate and fight for my son and my family's rights is not a sustainable plan. We need to create sustainable solutions for ourselves and our families where we're in control of our income. 18-year career. Okay. Christina also has that same issue. And I think a lot of people. So, build something while you're doing what you can. What we're talking about tomorrow is an exit strategy. It's not something that's an immediate gratification situation, but there are things that you can take and apply to your life right now that can give you hope, can give you connection, can address your physical symptoms, and can help you to set up for an exit strategy going forward down the road. So that's what I'm looking out to do right now is create a plan, because we all need a plan. We all need an exit strategy. We all need to know if A happens, then this is what I'm happening. If B happens, then this is what I'm doing. So I think it's really trying to take the emotion and the fear out of it, place your 2 feet on the ground, and look at all the checks and balances of what it looks like to stay in the state that you're in and deal with all the things that you're dealing with. And is that something that you can do on a long term? So, I get it. I totally get it. And if you need support, you can definitely, they were preparing for something. I knew it wasn't over. Definitely reach out to me. I'm 100% here. And know that there is always a solution. There is always a light at the end of the tunnel. I suggest, if you haven't already, prepared, to have a situation set up where you have some extra supplies in your garage, food, all that stuff. Paper towels, which apparently are already like short supplied. I'm in trouble. Toilet paper. If you haven't applied for your gun permit, now might be a good time to do it. Make sure that you're stocked up on ammo and you have all the things that you need. I'm actually looking into a generator. So, we need to start preparing for things that we never thought we'd see in our lifetime. And I think that that is something that is stressful in and of itself. But yes, that's the plan. Starting our own schools, starting our own airlines, making sure that we have our own communities built, but that takes money. So we need to create those sovereign streams of income for ourselves, for our families within our community, so that we can start to build the ark. That's what Susan calls it, building the ark. So when the time comes, if we need to haul ass out of our state, we already have things in place. We already have a network of people that are working together, that are earning an income, that are all co-creating for a common cause, and we can start to pull the trigger on doing all these things. So yeah, I think that tomorrow, 10 o'clock, everybody that's feeling stressed out, definitely come on, listen, get some inspiration, get some connection, get some hope. It's important. It really has helped me in a major way, managing my anxiety and just trying to look towards solutions instead of always focusing on all the stuff, because we're being inundated every single day with more and more problems, and it can really wear you down. So don't allow yourself to get to that point. Make sure you're filling your cup. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, doing the things that you need to keep your health intact, both mentally and physically, because they are trying times. And make sure that you're connected to like-minded people so that you know that you are never alone, because you're certainly not. So I just wanted to come to you with some words of inspiration and some hope, and just to let you know that I struggle the same as each and every one of you. There's no magic bullet. There's no magic pill. There's nothing magic. You just got to go through the emotions. When you're having a bad day, you need to honor your feelings and just allow yourself to be in that place, with the intention of the next day being able to pick yourself up and continue to move in the direction of positivity and creating those solutions. So allow yourself the space to heal, allow yourself the space to feel, more importantly, and then get back to the work of building the solution. Yes, there are places to connect other than Facebook. I am on Parler. I am on MeWe. I am also on Telegram. Where else? WhatsApp. Voxer. There's a lot of different places. I can post all those links on there so that you have them. We need to definitely make sure that we have alternative forms of places to connect, because I think Facebook and Instagram are going to be short-lived for people like us. It is the platform of censorship. So we need to have backup plans. I'm also going to post on here, if you haven't already done so, definitely stay in touch with me by texting. Here you go. So you could text 33777, the word revolution, and that'll automatically add you to my text subscription list. Once you do this, you're going to get an email that's going to ask you for your name, and then it's going to say you're added to list. You have to go into your email account and just accept the fact that you want to be subscribed to my mailing list. Otherwise, it's going to just hang out in that text throttle, which isn't bad. But there are some things that I send out through my mailing list that people on my texting list won't get. So make sure that you're following me there as well, because if for some reason things do go rogue on Facebook, I will definitely be using mail as a way to keep in touch with everybody. And it's also good because I'll have your email address, so I can, and I'll have your phone number in this case. So make sure that you're doing that. If you haven't done it already, text revolution to 33777, and make sure you're following on MeWe, Parler, all those fun places. And keep your heads up, guys. We are going to get through this together. There are going to be dark moments, and I think that it's really important that we have that community. So plug in, find the people around you, plug into the call tomorrow night at 10 p.m. I will post the link for all of you, and just know that you're never alone. There are people out there like you. If you need someone to go shopping with you, that's the other thing I want to start doing, is creating these shopping pods so that we're not by ourselves in these stores and we can go together. I think it will help ease a lot of anxiety and frustration. So I hope that this was helpful. And I said I'm going to do a quick live, and then it's 32 minutes. This always happens to me. But in any case, sending you all so much love, so much light. Be the change. Be strong. Be bold. Be brave. Stand up, show up, rise up, and know that there is always hope. There is always someone out there like you. And be kind. You know, we truly don't know what people are struggling with today. There is so much going on. Be the person that smiles down the aisle. Be the person that gives some positive vibes to people that you come into contact with. Even if they don't give it back, just be a giver of good vibes. We need so much good vibes right now. You have no idea. So I always say at the ends of my yoga classes, and I said it tonight, and I really, I felt it. Your energy matters, and it is contagious. And more so now than ever, our energy is so contagious. So try your best to rise above all the negativity, all the hate, all the fear, all the chaos, all of it, and try to dig deep to find that place in you where you can be a giver of good vibes. If you need anything, I'm going to start doing yoga Zoom classes, so stay tuned for that. Want to create some community online and get back to teaching yoga, the regular good old fashioned way. So if you're interested in that, definitely, send me an inbox, let me know, or comment below in the comments, and know that I am sending you guys so much love, so much light. And I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. Truly, your messages, your words, the things that you send me, it really makes all the difference. So keep it going, and know that even if I haven't responded to you, I appreciate you so much. So have a beautiful night, and I will definitely speak to you all soon. All right, take care. Bye.